had some bumps and some bruises, and we have 31 drivers that made it through the gauntlet of qualifying and are here to do battle today. We're going to start off with our bracket. Our bracket is a top 32 bracket. The number 1 qualifier is going to go against the number 2 qualifier, and they're going to work their way towards the middle. And as you see, the track staff right now, they're chalking the lines. What those are there for, if you are new to drifting, the judges utilize different areas of the course in order to judge the drivers. When these drivers are going throughout the course, we have a different set of zones and inside clips. Where you can see the track staff right now, they are actually relining the second outer zone. Our first outer zone is going to be to the far left of the grandstands along that wall. As the drivers make their way down the straight, the lead car is doing whatever he can to make sure he's filling out the zones completely and getting as close as he can to the inside clips. While he's doing that, he needs to be mashing on the throttle, full throttle, nice, consistent angle, and trying to maintain the line the judges have set before them. The chase driver's job is to utilize that lead driver as sort of a mobile clipping point, or basically mimic that lead driver. And as the cars make their way throughout the course, the judges are going to be analyzing chase driver versus lead driver and see who makes the most mistakes. That lead driver, his job is to put down a 100-point qualifying run, which would mean putting his car deep into all the zones and nice and tight on the clips. As the drivers make their way down the straight, they hit that first outside zone, and at the end of the first outside zone, you'll see a box with some cones. That is a touch and go. The job for that, the reason why we have that is we want the drivers to stay out wide. So the judges put that there in order to give the drivers a reference point on where they need to put their car. So as they come out of that first outer zone, there's going to be a touch and go. They get nice and tight onto the touch and go, transition across the infield, and as you can see, our course work is doing a great job relining that second outer zone. They want to put their back bumper almost all the way into that second outer zone, not hitting those cones, but getting as close as they can. Once they pass that second outer zone, they're going to need to make their way across and attack that first inside clip. The inside clips, you can kind of tell them because they have 3 lines on the ground. It looks like they only have 2 right now, but they will have 3 lines. The drivers want to get their front bumper as close to that inside clipping cone as possible without hitting it. Now, if they tap it, touch it, not a big deal. If they totally obliterate it, that's going to look very it's not going to look good in the judges' eyes. They're definitely going to frown upon taking out the cones and the zones. But as they do pass that first inside clip, they're going to transition and then attack the second inside clip and then the final outer zone, which is right along the wall, right in front of the grandstands. And, of course, you guys, if you're new to drifting and you got to leave early or you have some friends and family that weren't able to make it, we are live streaming this drift challenge. So you could check out the live stream on YouTube. If you go to Drift Sessions, make sure you like and subscribe. And also check out the LS Fest page. And they are also live streaming it through their Facebook page. But make sure, like I said, share the love. If you like what you see, give it a share, give it a follow, give it a like, subscribe, comment. What's great about the live stream is you can watch the replays and you get some more camera angles. So even some of the drivers utilize that to watch their runs, and the other drivers as well. So take a chance now while we got some downtime. And go ahead and check out the YouTube page, Drift Sessions, under live, and then go ahead and check out the LS Fest page on their Facebook page for the live stream as well. As soon as we get this track not staying to angle, maybe it's very slow, what can be deemed as an unchaseable run for that chase driver, the judges will fault the lead driver. And then there's also what we call an inactive chase, which basically means that chase driver is allowing the lead driver to just take off and just put buses or car lengths on him. We want these drivers side by side. We want to see them rubbing their tires on the other driver's door. We want to see them pushing each other. We want to see fierce fought battles because that's what we came here to see. We came here to see side-by-side competition. And drifting, if you're not familiar with drifting, you take the best of almost all the motorsports, and that's what drifting is. And it's evolved into a tremendous spectator sport. You got high speed, you got crashes, the cars are going sideways, and it's just completely wild and out of control. And that's why we love drifting. So like I said, if you're a new fan of drifting, get on, these drivers, if maybe you want to get into drifting and you've got a car you want to start developing into a drift car, there are many tools out there. Sim rig. A lot of drivers utilize a sim rig in order to gain some experience or learn. Or go out to the pits. All these drivers have years and years of experience. Some of them are pro drivers as well. So they are full of wealth of information. So by all means, do not feel hesitant if you see one of these drivers in the pits to come up them and pick their brain on what they did for their setup or how they got to where they are. That's one of the things that I fell in love with drifting is I feel it's unlike a lot of other motorsports where it's really a big family. Yes, they're going to fight and they're going to battle their way through the competition, but after they're shaking hands, they're not really, you really don't see many secrets. I mean, these guys really share tuning. You'll see a lot of times where you got other drivers lending tires to their competitor. I've seen times where a driver blew a transmission and one of the other drivers lend him a transmission, and that driver that was on the borrowed transmission beat the driver that lent him the transmission, right? So you don't see that often in many motorsports. That's what makes drifting special. Once you get plugged into the drifting community, it's nothing but love. Of course, like I said, there's always going to be some rivalries. There's always going to be some of those fierce battles. But at the end of the day, everybody wants to just grab a couple drinks and just share the memories that they've had throughout their career in drifting, whether it's memories on a road trip or memories here at LS Fest East. So we want to thank you guys for joining us today. We are going to get into the competition shortly as soon as the track workers finish the lines. My name is Tim Murphy. I got my co-host here, Captain Ben. We are the Drift Sessions crew. Like I said, if you're on YouTube, you can check us out, Drift Sessions. Ben, what was the standout moment for you yesterday, you think, in qualifying?
One of the things is we spoke about Mr. Jonathan Narron.
Yeah.
Just the way how he managed to
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, good. Sorry about that.
Oh, you were on mute there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. One of the things that really stood out to me was Jonathan Narron, how he kind of like crept into qualifying. Nobody knew whether he was going to show up or not. And as always, he just delivered.
Yeah, and the man that Captain Ben is speaking of, Jonathan Narron, he's the winner of last year's LS Fest East competition. So he didn't show up until almost the end of, actually, I think I talked to him in the pits, and he said they, on their way here from North Carolina, they had a blowout on the rig. So they had to pull over, and they had to get some new tires on the rig. So that took a little while. He was able to get here in time to get half of a practice lap. And so he came here basically into qualifying with no practice, but being last year's champion, it really wasn't a problem for him because he was able to qualify pretty high in the bracket.
Yeah, but he didn't qualify high enough because the number one qualifier, again, for the second year in a row, Dirk Stratton.
Wow. So Dirk Stratton qualifying number one, and seeing that even though we had almost 50 drivers, like I said, we had bumps and bruises and some accidents and fire. We had a whole bunch of craziness go on yesterday during qualifying. We were only able to walk away with 32 drivers that were able to get points on the board.
Actually,
I'm sorry, 31.
31, yeah.
Drivers. Yeah, 31 drivers that were able to get points on the board. And Dirk Stratton qualifying number one, that gave him a bye run.
Yeah.
He's automatically into the top 16. And I do see him over there staged to the far right. You know, you tell Dirk Stratton's vehicle. I mean, it has that Oracle lighting and that Lingenfelter on his Chevy Corvette written all across the side. And like Ben said, he was last year's number one qualifier, right?
Yeah, and he's looking to this time around just redeem himself because really from last year's performance to this year, it was really his event to lose. It looked like he was just like on a mission to win the event overall, but fortunately last year something happened during the Final Four.
Nicholas Rodriguez came out seemingly out of nowhere, taking out Dirk Stratton.
Yeah, and it's going to be curious to see will it be a repeat of what happened last year? Will it be a wild card, an individual that we may not be aware of that could dethrone Dirk Stratton's chances?
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see. You never know what's going to happen. We even saw in practice Blake Van Thoft actually tapping the wall and injuring his BMW. We saw that just a short while ago, so I'm sure his crew is working on his vehicle feverishly, trying to get it back to the line. I mean, he's got some time because I'm looking at the bracket, and I think he's got, let me see here, he's going to be on the second half of the bracket, so he's got a little bit of time. But as you can see, Dirk Stratton will have a bye run, meaning he's going to automatically go into the top 16, which will be later on this evening. Once we get to the top 16 competition, we will start the top 16, and we will not stop until we can crown a winner of the LS Fest East Drift Challenge brought to you by Michigan Motorsports.
Yeah, talking about the bracket, let's go ahead and go over some of the battles that we're going to be seeing. Like Tim mentioned already, Dirk Stratton is the only driver fortunate enough to get a bye run, so he's going to move on to the top 16. Then we have Sean Velovich going against JJ Alfano, Cabot Cardoso against Eric Moen, Jeremy Ringler against Joshua Stewart, Brendan Greaves against Nathan St. John, Brock Steele versus Jack Davis, Eddie Saudauskas, I'm sorry for that. Yeah, against Max Kimlin. Chris Anderton Holt against Ethan Parnell. That'll round out the left side of the bracket. And on the opposite side, we have
Jonathan Nairn, the man that showed up out of nowhere and taking the number 3 qualifying spot. He's going to be battling Zach Calvin. After that, Cody Martin will be battling Scott Davis. Then after that, we have Tyler Berry battling Wesley Cloud. The next battle will be Blake Van Thoft versus Ross Butasov. Then Zendara Kennedy will battle Tim Whalen. Cody Dempster will battle Blazin' Jake Wise. Derek Carter then battles Grant Anderson. And to round out our top 32 competition, Drake Burris will battle our number 2 qualifier, Luke Fink. And as you can see right now, Dirk Stratton is going to take his, I guess it's a parade lap of sorts. He's going to take his bye run. This will give him a minute to get one more practice run out of that vehicle before he goes into the top 16 battle later on this evening. But nonetheless, one thing we know about Dirk Stratton, he's always been extremely competitive. Okay, Dirk Stratton making his way down the straight. He's going to go ahead and initiate. Now he's making his way through that first outside zone, almost on the wall. Now he's making his way into the touch and go. He's going to transition into the second outer zone. Here we go, filling it out almost completely, doing a good job. And now he's making his way to that first inside clip, transitioning into that second inside clip, and off through that final outer zone. Give it up for Dirk Stratton, our number 1 qualifier, with his bye run. He earned himself that right for sure, and now he can just kind of sit back and take it easy until later on this evening. So that brings us to our first battle, which is going to be our 17th place qualifier, Sean Belovich, in that yellow Nissan 240SX. And he'll be battling, what you see right now on the course, trying to warm up his tires, is JJ Alfano. JJ Alfano choosing a different platform there. Not something you see too often. It's interesting to see how these drivers, we saw a 74 or 75 Monte Carlo out here. Justin Napier, unfortunately, not able to secure his spot in the top 32 competition, but nonetheless, we do have JJ pulling up to the line. He will lead first, and now Ross Butasov is warming up his tires. If you look at the track, and you're not, like I said, we have a lot of new drift fans, so my job today is hopefully educate and build new fans. The far end of the track is the lead lane. So right now you see the Trans Am. He is the lead driver, and Ross is in the chase lane. Once the drivers complete their first lap, they will trade positions, and then the chase will lead, and they'll switch roles, right? And they're going to go back at it again. The drivers that can walk away with the win is the drivers that can battle out the best. But here we go. We start the top 32 competition. JJ out front, Ross not too far behind. Both cars initiating almost on the wall. JJ doing a good job filling up that outer zone. But look at Ross right there with them, almost door to door. Having that touch and go. Wow, look at how close Ross is. And now he's falling back as they attack that second outer zone. JJ looking dialed in that Trans Am. Oh, really good job. Belovich is now right there with them side by side. Of course. Sean? All right, I misspoke. That is Sean Belovich. I think I'm saying Ross. Forgive me for that. All right, Sean is in the lead run now, lead position, and JJ will give chase. JJ qualifying 16th, Sean qualifying 17th. Both drivers at the line, locked and loaded. And our man Nick Swan giving them the go-ahead as both drivers make their way down the straight. Sean out front. Wow, look at JJ almost there side by side as both drivers initiate into that. Whoa, Sean struggling to get into drift. Almost looked like JJ had to stop for a second to see what was going on, but now both drivers are back in it. They're making their way into that second outer zone, side by side. Sean getting deep in that second outer zone. Now wow, look at JJ sucking up almost on the door as they make that final transition off the course. Give it up for Sean Belovich and JJ Alfano. All right, as you can see down on the course right now, the judges are going to make the call, and we're going to find out who's going to advance on to the top 16. If you're watching on the live stream, you see both vehicles right there. Sean Belovich on the right, JJ Alfano on the left in that Pontiac Trans Am. And Ben, who's the winner? Did we get a response yet?
Still waiting on the call.
All right. Now there are a couple different options.
Oh, one more time.
One more time. I was just going to talk about there are a couple different ways these decisions could go. One driver can get the win, or they can go one more time, meaning they basically are going to repeat that battle all over again. And now pulling up to the burnout box is Cabot Cardozo. He's our 9th place qualifier. He's going to be battling Eric Moen. The higher qualifier is always going to lead first, so if you're really not too sure what the reasoning is behind how we set up the lead and follow in these competitions, the higher qualifier is going to lead first. The lower qualifier is always going to chase first. And then, like I said before, they will switch positions and go at it again. Cabot Cardozo, he's out there in that bright yellow Nissan 350. He's rocking an LS6 power plant, sponsored by Bell Raceworks. Actually, he's got a lot of sponsors. Prime Energy Solutions. Let's see here. LOJ Conversions, FDF Race Fab Shop, Dutch Works, Gulf Coast Mobile Tire, Spectune, Mid Pond as well. So he's got a lot of sponsors helping him out. Here we go. Cabot Cardozo out front. As they make their way down, Cabot doing a great job of just completely. Oh no! Oh no! Coming in too hot. Unfortunately, he's not. All right, so we're going to have to go ahead and check on Cabot. Cabot has been very aggressive, doing a great job, just putting the car where he needs to be. Unfortunately, coming in too hot through that first outside zone and just throwing the car into the wall. So we need to check on him, make sure he's okay. And the drivers do get one timeout in order to repair their car. They can only utilize it once during competition, I believe. So hopefully it's not too major a repair. He'll be able to get that repaired and get back on the track. If not, Eric Moen will advance on. If Cabot Cardozo is not able to get that car back together in the second half of the battle, I mean, already sitting at a deficit, right? I mean, he went into the wall, so basically zeroing out his lead run. His only hopes is if he can get that car together and finish off the second half of this battle against Eric Moen. If Eric Moen makes some type of major mistake, then he may be able to push it to one more time. But right now, I know he's got his dad and his mom out there in the pits. I mean, it's a family affair with Cabot and his whole family. And they just work hard, and you see him at several events all throughout the country. So regardless of, even if he doesn't make the repair and get back into competition, we know that he's going to be back again next year. See that bright yellow? Give it up for Cabot Cardozo. Hopefully he can get that vehicle back together, that Bell Raceworks Nissan 350. Nice bright color there. You can see a little damage to the back bumper. I guess somebody call him Dustin. 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 Somebody, he's a very popular man. All right, well, that's going to bring us up to our next battle. Our next battle is going to be Jeremy Ringler. He's our 25th place qualifier. He's going to be battling Joshua Stewart. Jeremy Ringler, 25th qualifier, battling our number 8th qualifier, Joshua Stewart. Joshua Stewart coming to us from Las Vegas in that black and green 2011 Chevy Corvette. He has an LS3 under the hood at about 500 horsepower, sponsored by BC Racing, Injuku Racing, D3, Race Tech, Square Wheels, Fluid Damper, Status Racing, Valino Tires, and RTS. So he's got a lot of partners on board to help him pilot that vehicle, hopefully to victory. And now we have Jeremy Ringler warming up his tires. Jeremy Ringler coming to us from Metuchen, New Jersey in that 2000, 2K, Y2K, I don't know what you want to call it, Chevy Corvette. He's got an LC9, not really sure how much power he has. I did talk to him in the pits, and he said he's basically brand new motor, first time testing it out, testing it to them. But here we go. Joshua Stewart out front, Jeremy right there behind him. Jeremy having a hard time kind of getting that car into drift. But Joshua Stewart doing a great job filling out that touch and go. Now he's going to make his way into that second outer zone. Joshua Stewart deep into that second outer zone. Great job. Unfortunately, Jeremy just way too far back there to put any pressure on Stewart doing an amazing job all throughout the course. One of the things as a chase driver, you want to apply pressure to that lead driver to, once you, as a lead driver, you hear that engine roaring in your window, it applies that extra bit of pressure that you have throughout the course. So we'll see if how things are going to change now. Jeremy really has to dial that car in. He wants to put down a nice solid run. Joshua Stewart, he can't just assume he probably does have the advantage going into the second half of this battle, but he can't play it too safe. He still needs to be in the pocket and applying pressure. We'll see. Away they go. All right, Jeremy Ringler out front now. Joshua Stewart right there with a bumper, just like almost teasing him down the straight as he throttles forward. Whoa, Jeremy, again, struggling with that initiation. Joshua doing a good job staying with him. Having a hard time following a difficult lead run. Jeremy kind of coming in out of angle. Whoa, running way wide. And although Joshua Stewart did spin, the fault may go to the lead driver. I mentioned earlier there are a couple things that the judges are going to really impress upon those drivers in their position. If they're a lead driver, their responsible is to provide a good qualifying run, which means a chaseable run. If the lead driver makes a major mistake, causing a major mistake from the chase driver, they're going to fault the lead driver for that. But as we can see, we're down the line, and we're going to get the official word. All right, Joshua Stewart gets the win. Joshua Stewart's going to get the win. He's going to advance on to tonight's competition of the top 16 Drift Challenge here at Holley LS Fest East, brought to you by Michigan Motorsports. So our next set of drivers that should pop up into the burnout box are going to be Brendan Greaves. You're going to see him in that blue BMW right there, getting ready to warm up his tires. Originally from Australia, making his home here in the States, ready to do battle against Nathan St. John. Brendan Greaves, our 5th place qualifier. Nathan, our 28th place qualifier. So knowing, as I spoke earlier, the higher qualifier will lead first. So Brendan will lead, so you'll see him after he warms up his tires. He'll make his way over to that lead lane. And then Nathaniel St. John will make his way to the chase lane. Nathaniel St. John coming to us from Cincinnati, Ohio. In his 95 Nissan 240SX. He's at about 408. No, he's got a 408. He's at about 600 horsepower. If you guys get a chance to tag these drivers, make sure you find our Instagram. They're usually on their cars and tag them in all the pictures. Both drivers, Brendan, lead lane, and away they go. As they make their way down the straight, Brendan doing a great job in that lead position, trying to pull away from Nathan as both drivers make their way through that first outer zone. Nathan really falling out of the pocket there. Way shallow through that first outside zone as Brendan attacks that second outer zone. Nathan starting to dive in the pocket, trying to apply that pressure. Can he force a major mistake from Brendan? Now he's really getting to the point where he can get door to door, but unfortunately Brendan Graves doing a great job in a lead position. I don't know what's going to happen here. I mean, Nathan St. John he really has an uphill battle, not doing himself any favors through that first outer zone, essentially giving Brendan Greaves the advantage so far. Here we go, making our way down the straight. Brendan up. Whoa, something's going on with Brendan's vehicle. Oh no. What is going on? Allowing Nathan St. John to get his lead run, but Brendan having to shut his vehicle almost completely down. So this leads to another question. Did Nathan zero out his chase run? Did Brendan zero out his chase run? This could possibly go one more time. I guess the judges have to take both laps into consideration and see if they can figure out if they're going to set it one more time or if they're going to actually get the winner.
Yeah, that was very strange the way how that unfolded for Brendan Greaves. It looked like he was going into the second half of the battle with a clear advantage, but suffering some mechanical problems. Hopefully it's nothing serious, but we'll wait to see exactly what the results say. Oh, so Nathan St. John takes the win.
There you go. Nathan St. John's going to take the win. Unfortunately, Brendan Greaves with that E92, might as well go over his specs. He's rocking a 6.0 LS at about 700 horsepower. It's the Drift Bunny BMW. You can check out his booth. He actually has a booth over there in the pit area selling a lot of merchandise. So you may want to make your way over there between the break and check out Drift Bunny. Help support his program. Unfortunately, Brendan Greaves is taking out competition, and Nathan St. John is going to advance on. So this looks like we're going to the one more time battle between JJ Alfano and Sean Belovich. JJ Alfano is going to go ahead and lead first. JJ Alfano coming to us from Atlanta, Georgia. In that beautiful 1978 Pontiac Trans Am. Got an LM7 in there, about 365 horsepower. Let's see how he does in the lead position. JJ out front. JJ high in the wall at initiation, trying to stay nice and wide, doing a great job. JJ doing a great job in that lead position into the touch and go. But Sean right there with them as they transition into that second outer zone. Wow, JJ's really looking like he's dialed in. I can't imagine that's the easiest car to drift throughout this course. But Sean trying to apply the pressure to chase position there. Both drivers make a give up from JJ Alfano and Sean Belovich.
Yeah, it looks as though like both of the drivers had some problems going into the final turn before the exit. So hopefully this doesn't continue on to the second half of the battle.
Yeah, we'll see. Sean Belovich coming to us from Illinois. In a 1989, wow, Civic, I'm sorry, Nissan 240SX, LS8 power. Here we go, both drivers making their way down the straight. Sean initiating nice on that outer wall. JJ kind of wavering a little bit in the chase. Whoa! Look at Sean tapping the outer zone. Not phasing JJ though. JJ's still trying to stay in the pocket. Sean filling out that second outer zone. Both drivers, whoa, Sean's losing a piece of his car, but that's okay. Rubbin's racing. Leading by another. JJ right there with give it up for Sean and JJ as they make their way off the course. Wow, impressive. JJ really doing a great job. applying that pressure. We'll see. The judges now are going to decide who's going to win in this one more time battle between J.J. Alfano on the left there and then Sean Belovich on the right.
For your run in place, please. Once again, drag and drive, I need you to your car. Drag and drive, I need you to the lane. In your cars. For your cruise in place, please.
The judge is still deliberating here, and they're trying to figure out exactly. I guess there's a lot to analyze.
Run in place, please.
But I do want to thank everybody for coming out here and watching the Holley LS Fest East Drift Challenge brought to you by Michigan Motorsports. Got a packed house. And we get to have a, it looks like J.J. Alfano gets the win. J.J. Alfano gets the win. Moving on, taking out Sean Belovich. Well, the good thing is that even if the drivers get taken out today, they do have a chance to come back tomorrow. There will be more drifting tomorrow. It's going to be more of just a, friendly tandem, just having a good time. The guys burning off the rest of their tires and fuel that they weren't able to burn off today. But so you can't come back out here tomorrow and see some fun driving for the drivers. They get a chance to just kind of have a good time. Right now, it looks like we have Jack Davis, and he's going to be going against Brock Steele. Jack Davis in that BMW, that teal and white BMW E36 out there. Brock Steele warming up his tires in that white Nissan 240SX. Jack Davis was our 12th place qualifier, so he will lead first. Brock Steele qualifying 21st. He will give chase. Away they go, making their way down the straight. Davis out front. Steele falling way back. Almost looks like he dropped out of power. Which could be almost deemed an inactive chase. He really needs to dive back in and dive back in the pocket. But Davis doing a great job filling out that second outer zone. Now both cars need to transition and make their way past that first inside clip. Jack Davis right inches away from that first inside clip. Steele finally able to catch back up towards the end, but it might be too little too late, as it seems that Jack Davis is going to go into the second half of this battle with the advantage. Jack Davis, he's from Beech Bend, Oklahoma. Horsepower, sponsored by Beech Works, Kansei Wheels, Holley, D&D Performance. But here we go. Steele out front, Davis giving chase. Davis much more dialed and in the pocket in the chase position. But Steele doing a better job. He's filling out that first outside zone, but look at Davis right there with him, side by side, as both cars make their way through the center track and transition into that second outer zone. Steele doing a great job filling out that second outer zone. Now both drivers making it past that first inside clip. Transition to the, oh no! Oh, wow. Close call. Good driving by Jack Davis. Unfortunately, Brock Steele may have just handed the victory over to Jack Davis.
Yes, and he did it. It's official. Jack Davis gets the win.
Wow, already made the decision. Jack Davis gets the win, unfortunately. Steele, he'll have to make his way back out here next round, but I'm sure he'll be here tomorrow, burn off whatever tires and fuel he has left. And now we have our first driver in the next battle, Eddie Sadowskis in his gray BMW E4 E6. He'll be battling against Max Kimlin. Max Kimlin in that Chevy Corvette there, ready to roll up his tires. Eddie was the 13th place qualifier. Max qualifying 20th, so Eddie will lead first, and Max will give chase first. Eddie coming to us from Lamont, Illinois. That BMW M3 powered by an LC9. It says 500 horsepower, but he said that was on the butt dyno. Not really sure what that means, but that's what he put down. Sponsored by ESM Motorsports. And he is in a lead position, and away they go. They make their way down the straight. Look at Max Kimlin almost right there with him. Whoa! Almost entering on the door of Eddie, but now diving way inside. Max Kimlin's got to stay there side by side, cannot pass Eddie as both drivers transition into that second outer zone. Eddie doing a good job filling out the outer zone. Max Kimlin taking out some cones. Wow, Max really trying to apply that pressure. It doesn't seem to be affecting Eddie whatsoever as they make their way past that second inside clip and off the course. Give it up for Max Kimlin and Eddie Sadowskis. Now they're going to make their way back up to the line. Max Kimlin coming to us from Pound Town, New York, in his 2013 Chevy Corvette, rocking an LS3 with about 500 horsepower, sponsored by Fake Co. Max Kimlin, definitely want to check him out. When we asked Max Kimlin why he was here, he said he's just here for the pork chops, eggs, and cheese. If he wins, he can buy plenty of it. All right, Max Kimlin in the starting position. Eddie is going to give chase. Our man Nick Swan at the line. Ready, sending him off, and away they go. Both drivers making their way down the straight. Max Kimlin in the lead position, and Eddie a little far back in that chase position, diving inside, almost similar to Max in the chase position. Let's see what happens as he transitions and attack that second outer zone. Max Kimlin went pretty far outside, deep into that second outer zone last time around, but look at Eddie almost right there with them, trying to apply that pressure, make his presence felt as they transition. Whoa, no! Eddie straightening out in the chase position. Not doing himself any favors there. Well, we'll see now. The judges are going to have to analyze that run and deliberate and see who's going to advance on to tonight's competition.
Max Kimlin gets a win.
Wow, Max. Wow, good job, Max. He's going to go ahead and advance on to tonight's competition. He's got plenty of time to get his car ready for tonight to do battle. So get some food, get some hydration, get some new tires, some more fuel. I can already see Ethan Parnell out there warming up his tires. Ethan Parnell, one of those fierce competitors we've seen event after event, not just at LS Fest, but many events all across the country. He's going to be battling Chris Anderton Holt. Now, Ethan Parnell is our fourth place qualifier. Chris Anderton Holt qualified 29th. So it's going to be interesting to see how this battle pans out. But so far, the battles have been pretty good. We've had some fierce fought battles, and it's going to shape up to be a really interesting top 16 competition later on tonight. If you're taking pictures of Ethan Parnell, I believe it's written on the side of the vehicle. You know Parnell across the side of that vehicle. You definitely want to check him out. Tag these drivers in all the photos. And as I said before, find them in the pits. They are very willing to share information. So I'm getting word, I think we're getting a 5-minute timeout called by Chris Anderton Holt. He's just about to pull on the track, and it seems like his car died, so he's going to have to call a 5-minute timeout, see if he can get that figured out quickly in order to do battle against Ethan Parnell. So we're going to go ahead and pull Ethan Parnell off the course and move on to our next battle, which will be our third place qualifier, Jonathan Nairn, last year's champion. He's going to be battling our 30th place qualifier, Zach Calvin. All right. Just trying to get some information here on to just verify this next battle, because I'm hearing some chatter that one of the drivers may have had trouble with his vehicle as well. So. Okay, so it looks like I'm getting word that Zach Calvin is going to be unable to compete. He's going to pull himself out of competition for whatever reason. I'm not too sure. Zach Calvin, you'll see his vehicle. He's out in the pits. He's in that Cosmo tire Chevy Corvette. He was going to do battle against Jonathan Naring, but unfortunately not able to do battle. Jonathan Naring is going to come out on the track and do his by run, I guess, so to speak. So we will see, you'll get a chance to see our last year's champion in Jonathan Naring. Yep, there he is. There's Jonathan Naring pulling out on the course right now, going to warm up his tires. So he is going to be one of the drivers to watch. And we'll see how this works on. Jonathan Naring wasn't here for competition, suffered a blowout on his rig, causing him to be very late, making it just in time for qualifying. And with maybe half of a practice lap before qualifying, went right into qualifying and qualified third. I mean, the man came out here half a lap, just putting on a clinic and qualifying third. So that's very impressive to see. Coming to us from Concord, North Carolina, so it was a trip to here to make it out here. He's rocking that 1998 Nissan 240SX. He's got an LS stroker at 1,000 horsepower. As you can tell, just a smoke machine, using every bit of those 1,000 horses. Sponsored by Racing, race wheels, silver suspension, and like I said, he is just... he's a force to be reckoned with. He loves the atmosphere here at LS Fest, and it's always great to see him because he always puts on an amazing show. The crowd loves him, definitely a crowd favorite. There's a little bit of smoke on the course right now. It does look like that Scotty D in his Ford Mustang getting ready to warm up his tires. Scott Davis, he's going to be doing battle against Cody Martin. Cody Martin qualifying 19th. Scotty D qualifying 14th, so Scotty D will lead first. Scotty D, it may sound familiar if you have a Mustang and you're into drifting. That is the man that makes those angle kits for you. So if you have a Mustang and you want to go for the LS swap, come out here and do battle. Go ahead and check them out. Get some extra angle. If you notice in drifting, the front wheels turn a little more than your average vehicle, unless you drive a forklift everywhere.
How much more?
A little more. But anyhow, you definitely need that extra angle in order to throw these cars sideways, maintain drift, and be competitive. And Scotty D would be the man to reach out to if you're driving a Mustang. So he's going to lead, and Cody Martin will give chase. Away they go, Scotty. Whoa, Cody almost passing Scotty D down the straight. Scotty kind of slowing down. I don't know if he missed a gear or what, but here we go. They're into it. Scotty D doing a great job filling out that first outside zone. Into that touch and go. Cody wavering a little bit in the chase position. Both drivers attacking that second outer zone. Scotty D doing a much better job now. Dialed in. Looks like he worked out the bugs. Nice and tight on that first inside clip transitioning. Cody Martin has some ground to make up because he just wasn't where he needed to be in that chase position. Now, it was kind of interesting on that run-up. Scotty D, I don't know if he missed a gear. I don't know how that played into Cody's mindset. Maybe it threw him off because Cody definitely seemed like he wasn't really where he needed to be, kind of lunging forward, falling back. But let's see what happens as the drivers change positions, and Cody Martin is now going to leave, and Scotty D is going to give chase. And away they go. Cody Martin coming to us from Cecilia, Kentucky, out front, leading the pack as both drivers initiate through that first outside zone. Scotty D bobbling a little bit, but now diving into pocket. Wow, Scotty D almost putting his tire on Cody's door as both drivers transition. Whoa, look at Scotty D trying to apply that pressure. He wants to make sure Cody could feel his presence. Can he force a mistake out of Cody? Whoa, give it up for these two drivers, but Scotty D is doing an amazing job in that chase position, applying pressure to Cody Martin. Excellent driving. Cody Martin's rocking an LM7, about 400 horsepower, sponsored by Brian Tooley Racing. We'll see how they pull over. We wait for the official decision. But definitely Cody not doing himself any favors. Scotty D was a little slow down the straight in the lead position, so we'll see what happens. Anything can happen. The judges are going to have to analyze the runs and deliberate and see exactly who made the most mistakes, and whoever did it better is going to advance on to tonight's competition in the top 16. Like most of these drivers, if either one of these drivers win, they say they're going to put it right back into their program. As you can tell, tires aren't cheap. Fuel's not cheap, but do we have a winner?
Scott Davis gets the win.
All right, there you go. Scotty D is going to advance on in that LS-powered Ford Mustang. Unfortunately, Cody Martin's going to have to call it a day, but I'm sure he'll be back here tomorrow, and I can already see Tyler Berry in that BMW E36 starting to warm up his tires. Tyler Berry coming to us from Knoxville, Tennessee. If you're from that area, you may want to check out local drift event. You'll see him there, I'm sure, quite often. He's got an LQ9 with about 500 horsepower. He's sponsored by Fast Tech, Motorsports, Holley EFI, and of course, Tyler Berry Drifting. So want to check him out at Tyler Berry 238. If you're taking pictures, tag him in. He said he's just out here to have a great time. He's going to be battling it against Wesley Cloud. Wesley Cloud now warming up his tires in that Chevy Corvette. Both drivers lining up, ready to do battle. And I can hear the LS-powered wacky waving, inflatable flailing arm man in the background. I hope I said that right. It's a tongue twister. Sounds like an annoying wife. But anyways, here we go. Tyler Berry out front as they make their way down the straight. Tyler Berry doing a good job initiating on the wall. Wesley's got to dive in the pocket. He looks like he is. He's starting to catch up to Tyler. Dive in the pocket. Apply that pressure as they transition through the infield and work their way into that second outer zone. Tyler's doing a good job in that lead position, putting a nice, what we would call 100-point qualifying run. But Wesley, he's got to apply that pressure. Maintaining composure in that lead position. Now both drivers are going to go back up the line, change positions. Wesley Cloud coming to us from Bell Buckle, Tennessee. He's rocking an LS1, about 600 horsepower, sponsored by Vortex Security. Wesley in the lead position. Tyler Berry going to give chase. Both drivers making their way down the straight now. Tyler Berry doesn't have it in the bag. He needs to apply pressure. Can he force a mistake, or is Wesley going to stay too cool in that lead position? Both drivers making their way through that first out. Whoa! Wesley getting very close to the end of the first outer zone. He transitioned into the infield. Look at Tyler Berry, almost on the back bumper, door to door as they make their way into this intersection here, past that first inside clip. Transitioning. Tyler doing a great job of position. Give it up for Tyler Berry and Wesley Cloud. Wow, it looks like we already have a winner.
Yes, indeed. Tyler Berry gets the win.
All right, Tyler Berry's going to advance on the top 16. That was a quick decision. Looks like our next group up is going to be Blake Van Thoft, which we, oh no?
I see Ethan Parnell up in the front of the line. Yeah, he's going into the burnout box.
Oh, okay, so we're going back to that battle that we actually didn't even have a chance to start. Ethan Parnell and Chris Anderson Holt. Chris Anderson Holt had a problem with his vehicle, couldn't pull it. Started pulling into the burnout box, not able to, he had to call a 5-minute timeout. So thankfully he's got his car squared away, and now Chris Anderson Holt in the burnout box. Ethan Parnell being the higher qualifier, qualifying number 4. Chris Anderson Holt qualifying 29th, so Ethan will lead first. And Chris will give chase. Ethan Parnell coming to us from Thomaston, Georgia, in his 1995 Nissan 240SX LQ9 powered, 650 horsepower, sponsored by EDP Motorsports. You get him up at U_no_Parnell. And away they go, side by side as the drivers make their way down the course. Wow, Ethan Parnell right on that wall, looking like a pro in that lead position. Chris catch up and apply the pressure. Chris is still there, but Ethan doing a good job filling out the zones. Now they make their way towards the end of the course, passing that first inside clip, attacking the second inside clip. Chris is really needing to apply a little more pressure, but Ethan Parnell not being phased whatsoever, putting down a stellar lead run. Chris Anderson Holt coming to us from Shelbyville, Tennessee. In his 93 Nissan 240SX, 5.3 powered LS at about, he says only 325 horsepower, so I'd put him on the very bottom end of the spectrum of what we've seen out here today. So he definitely has an uphill battle. But here we go, Chris out front, Ethan giving chase, both drivers down the straight. Chris initiating nice high on that wall, staying nice and deep in that first outer zone. But Ethan Parnell right there with him. Chris kind of wavering a little bit coming out of that first outer zone. I don't know. He kind of it seems like he fell out of line and off the track completely. That is not good. Ethan Parnell still in drift. In the chase position. I can see him going back and forth with the steering wheel. So I don't know if Chris Anderson Holt had issues with the steering wheel. Thank you. All right, it looks we could see in that blue and gray, Nissan 240SX with the cone and everything. That is Chris Anderson Holt. Chris Anderson Holt falling off line there, off the track completely. Ethan Parnell is taking the win. Ethan Parnell will get the win. Ethan Parnell will get the win.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, your eyes don't deceive you. That's David Stacy over there, Budweiser side, the 1991 Grumman LLB. Andrew Netherland, 2019 Camaro out of Tennessee, Jake's side.
So who do we have up next? We just went through Tyler Barrett, Wesley Cloud. I think it should be Blake Van Thoft versus Ross Budisoff. Trying to look, yeah, that is. That's Ross Budisoff over there. We saw him earlier doing some burnouts for us. So Ross is going to lead first. Ross in that pink Nissan 240SX. Ross Budisoff qualifying 6th. And I don't see Blake Van Thoft on. So Blake Van Thoft, we saw him earlier. He had that red BMW, and he kind of made a little contact with the wall. I do not see his vehicle there, so this may look to be Ross Budisoff's buy run. And he's going to go ahead and take this run and basically move on to the top 16, it looks like. I guess Blake Van Thoft was not able to make repairs to his vehicle. So Ross is, yeah, he's going to he's going to be doing battle tonight.
Brian Fox is down the road here in Kentucky.
Ross Butasov coming to us from Chicago, Illinois, in that pink Nissan 240SX. Not watching the live stream, you can't see the results on the screen. If you look over to the right, you'll see that the man holding them, or the man Webb there at the far right of the track, he gives the winner a thumbs up. So just in case you're not sure who's advancing on, you can always kind of look over to the right and just watch him. If he gives one driver a thumbs up, he'll give the other driver a thumbs down. That'll kind of help you figure out if you get a little confused, or maybe I don't describe the car well enough, you'll be able to tell who the winner is. Right now, we have at the line Zendara Kennedy. Zendara Kennedy in that Nissan 350Z, a professional stunt woman. She's been a professional stunt driver in movies such as The Adam Project. Following her passion for drifting, she's going to lead, and she's going to be battling Tim Wallen in that green Chevy Corvette. Zendara Kennedy in the 350Z, Tim Wallen in the green Chevy Corvette. Zendara qualifying 7th, Tim qualifying 26th, and away they go, making their way down the straight. Zendara putting a good gap on Tim, and Tim trying to dive in and attack. Zendara pretty midline there through that first outer zone, now getting into that touch and go. And she's kind of bobbling a little bit. The judges want to see the drivers commit to angle and stay at angle. Now she's filling out that second outer zone very well. Tim trying to reel, oh no! Tim spinning out behind Zendara Kennedy. He's going to hand the advantage over to Zendara. He can only hope that he can force that Zendara makes a similar mistake, but right now it looks like Zendara Kennedy in that 350Z is going to have the advantage going into the second half of this battle.
Out of Brookfield, Massachusetts.
Tim Wong coming to us from Sacramento, California, in that green Chevy Corvette. It's an LS6, has 620 horsepower, sponsored by Holley Performance, as well as Michigan Motorsports, which is one of the sponsors here for the Drift Challenge. Tim Wallen out front, looks like he's in the lead position. Does seem to be sitting on a disadvantage. So he's really going to have to put down a flawless lead run and only hope that Zendara Kennedy either cannot keep up or she makes a major mistake. It may go into one more time, but Zendara Kennedy, she's been competing all across the country, and not too often you see a major mistake like that, especially in the chase position. Both drivers look like they're locked and loaded. Tim Wallen out front, Zendara Kennedy going to be giving chase as they make their way down the straight. Zendara Kennedy almost right there with Tim as they initiate into that first outer zone. Tim doing kind of like a midline, trying to get deeper towards the end, into that touch and go. Zendara Kennedy right there. She should know she has the advantage, so she may want to play a little safe, but it looks like she's still trying to apply that pressure. Tim doing a much better job this time around in that lead position, but falling way off that first inside clip. Zendara Kennedy not being phased, still there right there with him as Tim Wallen and Zendara Kennedy makes their way off the course. Wow, unfortunately, Tim making that major mistake in the chase position may have just took himself out of competition. We'll look over to the right. It does look like we have the official decision. Orange, copper-colored Chevy Corvette. Jake Wise coming to us from Warren, Texas. It is 1995 Nissan 240SX, sponsored by Smetic Performance. 600 horsepower, also sponsored by Fortune Auto Tire Streets and Holley Performance as well. So those partners jump on board Blazing Jake Wise's program, helping him propel himself to victory, but he's going to have to take out Cody Dempster first. All right. Lees and Jake Wise in that lead position. Cody Dempster giving chase. Both drivers making their way down the straight. Wow, Jake Wise initiating right on that wall. staying nice and deep through that first outer zone, getting into the oh no! Cody Dempster falling out of drift. But Jake Wise has to maintain drift. He has to finish off his lead run if he wants to have that advantage. It doesn't seem like that's going to be a problem as he transitions past that second inside clip, almost inches away and out of the first outer zone. Seeing this happen where a driver just, they're taking themselves out of competition almost, but right now it looks like Cody Dempster has the disadvantage going into the second half of this battle. Jake Wise, he's just got to keep it calm, cool, and collected. Cody Dempster coming to us from Missouri, St. Louis, Missouri. And he's got a LS3 at about 900 horsepower. So he's got some good power there. Sponsored by Full Lock Drift, amongst many other partners that hopped on board. Here we go. Cody Dempster on front. Jake Wise not too far behind as they initiate that first outer zone. Cody much better this time around, but is it going to be too little too late? I don't know, but he does a great job filling out that first outer zone. Jake Wise has just got to maintain composure. Almost, whoa, no! Oh my goodness. Cody Dempster spinning out. Jake Wise just like chomping down on that bumper like Pac-Man. Well, we'll see what's going to happen. Can't be happy with it. I'm not sure. Maybe we'll give it up for Cody Dempster as he waves to the audience. And Jake Wise, whoa, almost another collision on the way out. Looks like he's struggling. Maybe he's missing gears or something. I see him trying to get it in gear. Maybe suffering some transmission issues. You don't want to fall in gear while you're banging off the rev limiter and have somebody like Jake Wise behind you. Not where you want to be. Do we have a winner?
Yeah, Jake Wise gets the win. Jake Wise in the Nissan 240SX gets the win.
There you have Jake Wise going to be in tonight's competition. And we're almost done with the top 32 competition, I do believe. Our next battle.
That was fast.
Yeah, it was pretty quick. Well, when you're having fun, time flies, right? Our next battle should be Derek Carter with our 15th place qualifier. He's going to be battling Grant Anderson, which was our 18th place qualifier, meaning Derek Carter will lead first. Grant Anderson will give chase. I'm just getting word that Grant Anderson took himself out of competition. Well, yeah, I guess he was having a car issue or something's going on. So basically giving the win to Derek Carter. Well, I'm sure, you know, drivers do want to battle out. They want to get some good seat time in there, but I'm sure he's not going to be complaining about getting the win so easily. He'll be able to save those tires and save that fuel and not put too much undue stress on the vehicle and be able to be back here this evening to do battle in the top 16. Derek Carter, they call him Drift Daddy. He's coming to us from Liberty, Tennessee. And he's got a Nissan 240SX, LS powered, 600 horsepower. Not too shabby. You can hit him up at Drift Daddy D86. He says if he wins today's competition, he says he's going to party like it's 1999. I remember that party. I was around there. Derek Carter, he's just going to go ahead and get a parade lap in there. Give him a chance to make sure the car is settled, dialed in.
He is running this car not only on the drag racing side of things. He is
Beautiful livery on the side of the vehicle. Nice and bright. One thing about drifting you see quite often is these drivers really not just expressing themselves through their driving, but also through their different liveries on their vehicle. He's rocking a Holley X. And when he asked him why LS to power his vehicle, he says, do they make anything else? He said they're just easy to work on, reliable, and he's get parts everywhere, so it makes it easy for him to maintain his vehicle. And off he goes. And you'll see him later on this evening in the top 16 competition at about 7 o'clock this evening. If you're not going to be here, then you got to leave early. Check it out on the live stream. Live stream is available both on Facebook if you check out LS Fest, or YouTube. If you go to Drift Sessions, you can watch the stream live. You'll be able to see the commentary and more camera angles, makes it a little more exciting. Or you can also share with some friends and family. Make sure that you're subscribing, liking, and sharing all these platforms to help spread the word that drifting is where it's at. Our next two drivers, I can already see Luke Fink out there at the start line. Luke Fink was our second qualifier in that blue Chevy Corvette. Pulling up alongside him is Drake Burris. Drake Burris was qualified 31st. So we'll see how this goes. Our second place qualifier, Luke Fink out front. Both drivers making their way down the straight. Luke initiating nice and high in the, whoa, Luke almost looked like he tapped the wall. Whoa, Burris is way inside coming out of drift. He's basically just zeroed himself out. Luke Fink, I don't think he's going to have a problem holding it together. But unfortunately for Drake, it just, like I said, kind of eliminating himself. Oh! Whoa, what's going on? Drake, he really shouldn't have even been that, like, trying to apply that pressure. I mean, he kind of already zeroed himself out. Getting a little too risky there towards the end there, trying to apply pressure to Luke Fink. But Luke Fink already had pretty much finished his run there. Looks like someone's going to check the Luke Fink to make sure he's doesn't take much to tie rod or something. So we want to make sure these vehicles are 100%. The drivers need to be confident their vehicle is going to do what they command it to do, especially at these speeds, going sideways, full throttle. But it looks like, yeah, it looks like they're ready to go. They're pulling both up to the line. My man's trying to check, make sure nothing falls off the vehicle. Luke Fink coming to us from Brisbane, Australia, in a 2006 Chevy Corvette LS3 powered, about 405 horsepower, he said, and sponsored by Drift Runner as he makes his way down the straight. Luke Fink knows he has the advantage, but he's just still trying to apply that pressure as both drivers make their way. Luke diving in the pocket as Drake tries to fill out those zones, and now both drivers flicking into that second outer zone. Drake doing a better job now in the lead position, but unfortunately not in the chase position. Luke Fink is right there with him, side by side, not making any mistakes. Nice job. Both drivers make their way over to the side of the track, and we'll see if we have a winner.
Indeed, Luke Fink. Luke Fink in the Chevrolet Corvette gets the win.
All right, there you go. Luke Fink is going to advance on. And I do believe that's it. That rounds out our top 32 competition.
Really?
Yeah, that was quick. So we finished our
Wow.
top 32 competition. We got our top 16 drivers. We're going to be back about 7 o'clock this evening for some tandem practice and then go right into our top 16 battles. So we want to thank everybody for joining us again. If you're not going to be on here, check out Drift Sessions on YouTube or go to the LS Fest Facebook page. You'll be able to watch the live stream. We want to thank Michigan Motorsports and eBay Motors and, of course, Holley LS Fest. We'll see you soon.
The #1 EFI conversion just got better. With 14 new features, all new electronics, and a complete ecosystem with display options, fuel systems, even transmission control, you can't go wrong with Sniper 2 EFI. To learn more about converting your engine to EFI, visit us at Holley.com.
There's nothing quite like being out in nature, enjoying the quiet moments away from the chaos of everyday life, where you can really reflect on your personal journey on this beautiful rock flying through space. But none of that matters, because this is a Tire Streets commercial. Whether you're drifting, rally racing, off-roading, or just going out on the town, we've got what you need, and we'll get it to you fast. Head to TireStreets.com today.
Redesigned from the ground up, MSD's Ultra 6A boasts a significant size reduction, making it 60% smaller, 50% lighter, and 35% more efficient. Find out about MSD's latest products at Holley.com.
I was broke, pocket full of debt. Now I'm on the bricks, getting paid like no other dog. Now I'm stacking chips.
Classic car owners, make your headlights over twice as bright with Holley Retro Bright LED headlights. A plug-in replacement for those dim halogen seal beams, Retro Bright maintains that classic look and lasts 6 times longer. Stay safe and click the link below to learn more.